This is my personal favorite way to hunt. It's a climbing stand, and many people are uncomfortable with the thought of doing that, but I hope that maybe you'll see that there's quite an advantage of safety, and you're very flexible with this mode of hunting. You aren't locked into one tree where you've spent an awful lot of time and energy to put up a ladder stand or a hang-on stand that are a little bit more time consuming to move around, noisy, etc. So this kind of stand here allows me a lot of flexibility. If I see deer on one side of the woods repeatedly, I'm just going to go over there and hunt next time. So you obviously have to choose the right tree. Has to be straight, sound, a good tree like we've explained before. Right diameter. Again, you're looking at for safety. I like to see a tree, doesn't have to be as big as my shoulders wide, but it has to be sturdy. It can't just be a 4-inch diameter tree. This needs to be a tree big enough. 8, 12, 14 inches is kind of ideal. We've come across a nice red oak here that is a nice sound tree, straight, no limbs, nothing dead in the top, and basically everything I have on my back is what I need. Okay, I've got the climber off my back like a backpack, and it's in two pieces. It's got a piece that your feet will go on, and then it's got a seat that you'll also use to help climb. Different manufacturers have different ways of doing this, but they're each going to have a cable, a chain, some sort of belt or something here that's got the flexibility and the strength to hold this stand to the tree. It's your job to size it correctly. I'm going to talk about that just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put the top of the stand now on the tree. Around here where you can see me. Now I've got different holes here to choose from on where I want to keep this thing. And then I'll pin it in place. Make sure your pins are secure. Okay, that chain's around the tree. I want you to take note of two very important things. First of all, you'll see how this foot platform is kind of angled up instead of being level. That's because I'm taking into account the flared bottom of this tree. This tree is going to get narrower as I climb it. So to compensate for that, I've got it pointed up at an angle to start with. Then you'll see after I get up a little ways, this is going to be flatter, okay? Because the diameter of the tree is smaller. The other thing that is super important is that at all times, the top portion and the bottom portion have to be connected with a line. That's in case some reason this bottom portion were to slip out from under you. You don't want it falling to the ground and you're up there with just half of a stand. Be hard to get down. Okay, so if some were to happen and this were to slip, you could bring it back up to yourself with this. Connect the top and the bottom. It's in the instructions of every climbing stand you're going to buy. Make sure you obey that safety rule right there. What I like about this as well, as soon as I get in this stand, I'm buckling myself into the tree. I'm a foot off the ground, I'm buckled in. All I got to do is move my safety strap up with me as I do a little inchworm action to go up this tree. These are just slick, they're wonderful tools, and I really do believe they're quite safe. I'm up in my climbing stand now. Again, I got two pieces. One is for my feet, and one is I will go up and down with, and this will eventually be my seat. But this particular stand I love because it's got a place for my rear end to sit as I inchworm. Is probably the best description I can think of how I'll go up this tree. And again, you'll see the bottom and actually the top two level out a little bit as the diameter of the tree gets smaller. I'm buckled in at all times. I have a haul line to my gear. My firearm or my bow, whatever I'm using, is on the ground as I'm doing this. Free hands, manage my safety belt, manage my stand. So I'll put the stand up to where I can sit in it, and then I'll just bring my feet up. Lock them in, inchworm up, bring my safety strap with me, Right here is a step that a lot of guys and gals skip because it takes a few seconds. But I got news for you. If something were to go wrong, you'd be happy you were buckled in. Manufactured stands rarely fail, but they are mechanical device. Not 100% is a mechanical device. They can and will fail. We talk about that in hunter safety classes with the safety on your firearm. You don't depend on that to not have your gun go off. It's an extra level of protection, but don't depend on it. See how I just raise this up? Kind of sit back to take the pressure off the bottom part of the stand. Raise it up, stand up. I'll be honest, I have a tendency to climb too high in these because it's so easy to do. Deer hunting, it's nice to be in an elevated position, as we spoke before, for a lot of reasons. But you think about it, your arrow or your slug or your bullet is pointed down to the ground. Pretty safe way to hunt, so you won't have projectiles flying straight through the woods. You need to think about, though, the trade-off. If you get too high, the angle of that arrow or bullet to the game animal is also at a steep angle, and you do want a heart and lung shot. So again, sometimes I find a tendency to climb too high. I don't need to be 20 feet off the ground to do this. 15 to 18 feet is maximum for me. All I've ever needed. Again, I'm buckled in. Got a seat. Turn around, settle in. This is comfortable. Yes, I've brought a book to hunt with before. Look up once in a while. It's an awful nice way to spend a morning or an evening. But you get comfortable before you bring your gear up. Bring your gear up to you. I got some hooks here I can hang my gear bag on, any extras, backpack, anything like that. And you're up, you're safe, you've got a field of view, you can stand up, and you've basically got a 360-degree vision. So, great way to hunt, very safe, stay buckled in. Keep this buckled to that.